Leon didn't disclose that Jeffrey Epstein personally paid him $150,000 until it came out in the press 10 days later. In a New York Times interview last May 2023, he claimed he donated it all to the college, but confusingly also said that he didn't disclose the donation in an earlier interview because he, quote, wasn't aware of it. In a different interview, he claimed he forgot about it. Exactly how can you donate money you're not aware exists? Which is it? Were you not aware of it? Did you forget about it? Or did you donate it? Because I know from my logic and critical thinking skills that I learned at this lovely college, can't be all three simultaneously. Also, isn't your whole job to remember who gives you money and how much? If Leon is, quote, not a rich person, as he claimed in said article, you think he would have noticed an extra $150,000 dropped at his door by one of the most infamous pedophiles of the last century. To quote the investigative journalist Sarah Gerard's new book, Carrie, Carol, and Coco, 2 years after Epstein's 2011 donation, in 2013, a helicopter landed on the Blythewood lawn with a man wearing a polo shirt and jeans with 3 women. A then student tells me that this person was widely known even then to be Jeffrey Epstein. Leon picked up the man and the girls. He told the Bard Free Press that the male passenger was a, quote, unaffiliated financier. Yet in one of his interviews with the New York Times, Leon said he never witnessed young female assistants around Mr. Epstein, that he was not present when Mr. Epstein's helicopter landed, and that he did not remember whether he had met Mr. Epstein during those visits. He also said they occurred during the summer when classes were not in session. Enlighten me. If classes were not in session, why were there student journalists on campus printing the school newspaper? At first, I'm quoting the New York Times, developing a relationship with Epstein did not seem far afield. Bard has a program for convicted felons, and Leon said that the college believes in second chances. Quote, we believe in rehabilitation. What rehabilitation was Epstein undergoing exactly? Were his visits to Bard exposure therapy? Did he pay you before or after he came to campus, where he had access to students? Leon claims security was instructed to keep Epstein away from students. Can you provide a record of that? I know from my time at Bard that security keeps a log of their daily activities. They write down what they do, the hour and the minute. Can you tell me which security guards were assigned to that task? And why would they need to keep him away from students if classes were not in session? That's part of our educational mission, Leon said. You wouldn't criticize a priest for giving communion to a convicted felon. You know, if I were you, Leon, I wouldn't have chosen a priest of all things to make the point you attempted to make. Also, what was the communion you were giving him exactly? Or should I say, whom? He enjoyed humiliating and dangling prospects, Leon told the Times. He was sadistic. He absolutely strung me along. I'm curious, do you usually repeatedly visit the houses of people who don't appear to be donating money? Also, again, impressively poor choice of words. I'm pretty sure Epstein dangled much worse things in people's faces. The college's statement added, had the extent and horror of Epstein's crimes been known, Bard would not have accepted his support. Leon said, we had no idea. The public record had no indication that he was anything more than an ordinary sex offender. Mr. Epstein had already been very publicly accused of sexually abusing girls as young as 14. I'm curious, exactly how many young girls must a billionaire rape before Bard stops accepting his support. And exactly how many ordinary sex offenders have you invited and allowed on campus? Inside Higher Ed noted, Leon, who has led Bard since 1975, has not faced repercussions on campus from students or faculty members. Protesters at Bard's 2023 graduation last weekend didn't criticize Botstein for accepting Epstein's money. The many students I tried to recruit for my protest in 2023 refused. The following is an account from an alum shared anonymously with consent. The 4 full years I studied at Bard College, graduating in '98, amount to one of the most inspiring, educational, and mind-altering chapters of my life. Also, I witnessed and endured a whole lot of creepy, awful, deeply misogynistic bullshit at Bard. Please do not doubt me when I say that the systemic issues seeped downward into the groundwater of that supposedly idyllic place, from the very top levels of the administration. A lot of heinous stuff happened to a bunch of young people while I was there. It was so much worse than it had to be. I used to carry a hunting knife with me at all times, with good reason. And all of that bloody, rapey, gynophobic nightmare shit got promptly shoved under the rug, magicked away by the college's ass-covering faculty admin and their scrupulous lawyers. Even all these years later, watching male classmates line up 10 rows deep to defend Botstein, who I personally knew and loved and was considered to be a pet of, is so painful. If any of these soft-minded armchair philosophers had the first idea what it was like to navigate that school at that time as a young woman, as a teenager, would they be so heartless? Wow, just fuck off, Leon. And to hell with all your enablers. What a disgrace. I know there are many alums who, even if they share that sentiment and agree with that assessment, insist we need Leon to keep the college afloat. But to quote Susan Weber, a trustee of Bard and a major donor, everyone says, oh, he's the most amazing fundraiser. Well, I wish that were so, because we wouldn't be so underfunded if he were that amazing. Personally, I don't think a man who's repeatedly invited and allowed predators on campus should be allowed to be the president. Apparently that's controversial. But I know I speak for many, many, many Bardians, past and present, when I say, from the bottom of my heart, Leon, your reign is over. Resign.